Hey guys, Carmen, Mohan here. Want to start off by saying I hope you guys subscribe to my channel. I'm going to be giving you a whole bunch of tax tips and tricks and information. I want you guys to learn. I want you guys to learn about what we're not taught in school, and I want you guys to learn and be financially educated. It's my journey as someone who was a self-made entrepreneur, someone who's been very well versed and educated in the finance world. I want to be able to give back to you guys, so make sure you subscribe to my channel. So today's topic is going to be, what are the 10 most commonly frequently asked tax questions? So we're going to go through the 10 tax questions. I'm going to make it very simple for you guys to understand, and let's get started. Question number 1, when are taxes due? If you have a balance or you owe the IRS a balance, you're definitely going to want to make sure you pay that balance before tax day. Tax day is usually in the middle of April. Every year it changes. It may be April 15th, it may be April 16th, it may be April 18th. Now, you want to make sure that you pay that balance prior to that April day. That's what tax day really means. Now, you can file your taxes after tax day, but you want to make sure that you pay your balance, because if not, you'll accrue interest and penalties and fees any following date after. So our frequently asked question number 2 is going to be how to file taxes. Now, if you're going to file your taxes, you have a couple of variety of different options. You can go to a tax professional like myself or any other office, income tax preparation office or accountant, or you can also file your taxes online. You can file your taxes with an online software program. The most commonly used ones are about Intuit or TurboTax or TaxSlayer. You can use any one of those software programs to be able to file your own taxes. The only thing is that if you have a simple form, you will want to use that. If you have more of a complicated return where you're not sure what type of credits may be due to you, you may want to see a professional. Question number 3, when can you file taxes? Every year the IRS has a different open date. Once that IRS open date, that means that the IRS can start accepting electronically e-filed submitted returns. So you want to make sure that you check the tax year, So you want to make sure that you check the IRS open date for that tax year. Does that mean you cannot go into an office and get an estimate on your numbers? Of course you can. Most tax offices open in the beginning of January. Question number 4, how to file a tax extension. Now, you can file your tax extension by electronically filing a form, or even printing out the paper form and filling it out and submitting it to the IRS. The number on that form 4868. That form allows you to request an extension for you to file your taxes. In the last question, we went over that April 18th. After April 18th, if you have a balance due with the IRS, it's going to accrue penalties, interest, and fees. So now, what happens if you're going to file a tax extension and you know you're going to have taxes due? What are you going to want to do? You're going to want to send in a payment with that form. So let's say you owe taxes and you're going to file an extension. You're going to want to submit a payment with that form 4868. Why? Because if you submit a payment with that form, then you'll only be accruing interest and penalties and fees on your outstanding balance. Let's say you owe the IRS $10,000, and when you submit the form, you submit a payment of $5,000. You'll only accrue interest and penalties and fees on the remaining $5,000. So I recommend whatever payment you can submit, to submit it with your form 4868. Question number 5, how much do you have to make to file taxes? About 70% of Americans don't even file their taxes because they're not aware of what's the dollar amount that they have to make to actually file their taxes. And technically, if you're single and don't make more than $10,000, you're not eligible to file. But what happens if you made less than $10,000 from a W-2 job? They probably withheld some taxes weekly from your check. So you're going to want to claim those withholdings, because depending on how old you are and your filing status, you're probably going to get a refund back. So you want to make sure that you don't leave any money on the table. And since we just stated a fact that 70% of Americans do leave money out on the table, you're going to want to make sure you get all your money. So you're going to want to make sure you file even if you didn't make $10,000. Question number 6, how long to keep tax records? So the IRS says that you're going to want to hold on to all your tax documents for the last 3 years, unless you own a business. If you own a business, you're going to want to keep your tax records and documents for 7 years, because you have 7 years. The IRS has up to 7 years to audit you, so you can be audited for the past 7 years if you own a business. Why? Because most businesses are going to have more major write-offs versus a personal tax return. Question number 7, when is the last day to do taxes? Now, we all know that we want to file before April if we have a balance due, because we know that our balance to the IRS is going to start accruing penalties and fees any date after that April tax day. So does that mean that we can't file after April? No, we actually can file. The IRS accepts electronically filed returns up until November. Now that cutoff date isn't announced till October. So you want to make sure that you keep your ears and eyes open if you have a balance due, or if you haven't electronically filed your return yet as of April, you want to make sure you keep your eyes open for that date. So you actually have until November to electronically file your tax return. Question number 8, how long does it take to get my taxes back? So question number 8 is going to be, how long does it take to get my taxes back? How long does it take to get taxes back? Now, everyone knows the IRS tells us it takes us 21 business days to get our taxes back, but actually last year they passed this new law. It's called the PATH Act, and that law means, in simplified terms, that it's a protection against taxpayers and their rights, and trying to be a protection against tax fraud. So that means that any tax returns with earned income credit or child tax credit will be delayed. So that means that 21 business days fact could not be relevant to you or your tax situation, because about more than 80% of tax returns have child tax credit and earned income credit. So that 21 days may in fact not be really 21 days for you or I if we have those credits pertaining to our tax return. Question number 9. I don't have any health insurance. Does that affect my tax return? Yes, if you do not have health insurance, you can be penalized. However, this is one of the reasons why it's very important to go to a tax professional, because if you don't have health insurance, you may be penalized. Now, what is the health insurance penalty? The health insurance penalty is $695 or 2.5% of your income, whichever one is greater. So you're not going to want to pay that penalty if you don't have to. So there's 12 exemptions that come with that penalty. If you see your nearest tax professional, they may be able to help you get qualified for an exemption. For instance, if you can't afford health coverage, or your income is too low, or you're not a US citizen, those are a couple examples of the exemptions that are out there. So you're going to want to make sure that if you don't have health insurance, you definitely go see a tax professional, because they may be able to qualify you for an exemption. Question number 10, why do I owe taxes? Why do I owe taxes? Now, this question is probably going to more apply to business owners, but there may be a couple of different reasons why you owe taxes. You may be claiming too many exemptions on your W-4, and they may not be withholding the correct amount every week, and maybe that's why you owe taxes. Or you could be a business owner and have to pay taxes on the income that you made throughout the year that you weren't taxed. If you didn't pay taxes throughout the year on your income, on your business, then at the end of the year, you're probably going to have a balance and owe a balance. So for any more information you guys or any other questions you guys may want to have, I answered the 10 frequently asked questions. If you guys have additional questions that you want to hit me up or ask me about, leave a comment below and definitely reach out to me, or you can send me an email. You can definitely visit Straight Tax's website. We have a tax office here in Lindenhurst, Long Island, New York. Definitely want to reach out to us if you have any questions, or you can even just drop down below and leave a comment. I want to answer you guys' questions and help educate you guys as much as I possibly can. So definitely, if you have any questions or any other topics you want me to go over, reach out to me, let me know, and I'll definitely take care of it and answer your guys' questions. All right, thank you so much. Make sure you guys subscribe to my channel. So much great value. Peace out.